Evening. How have you guys been? I hope you are well. I hope that you are doing well. I'm well, thank you. And yeah, this is another episode of your Soul Care Wednesday. Last week I couldn't record an episode. I was away on a conference, and that meant I couldn't do anything. So I left my house very early in the morning. I came back pretty much in the evening, and yeah, I couldn't really do much. So I just decided sometimes it's good to take a break. And so I didn't do a recording. Today will be episode 13 of our Soul Care Wednesdays, and I hope that you guys have been well. I hope that the Lord has been really faithful and good to you. Can't believe it that we are already in the month of December. We just less than basically how many days? 27 days we will be done with 2024. How amazing can that be that the year has just flown by? So as I welcome you guys to the 13th episode of your Soul Care Wednesday, I won't make this long because it's Wednesday. I need to go for Bible study in a couple of minutes time, and I'm just going to go straight into what I wanted to talk about. And today I was reflecting on how you can actually look after your soul by practicing the act of journaling. If you know me very well, I'm a strong believer in journaling. So I've been doing journaling for the last, I can't remember how many days. I think today in my journal was day 652. So for the last 652 days, I basically journaled every single day. There's my friend Abby. Good to see you. I've journaled every single day of these last maybe almost 2 years. And I was just thinking about soul care and the place of journaling. And most of the time depends as well on what you're journaling, right? I'm one of those people that process my thoughts through writing. So when I'm angry, I write. When I'm happy, I write. When I'm sad, I write. I do all those kind of things. And I know I'll be being a life coach, and she's live with us today, might have a different opinion on that. Because sometimes they say things that make you happy, write them on a stone, and things that make you sad, write them on a sand so that the rain can come and wipe them away. But there are those times when I've actually derived a lot of comfort from going back into my journals and just kind of processing my thoughts with myself in that moment, so to say, if that makes sense. There have been times, I can't lie to you, life can be tough, and there have been those moments when it felt really, really tough. It felt really difficult, but going back into like kind of understanding myself and understanding what I managed to do or how I managed to get through a tough season does really help me a lot in those moments to be able to, hi guys, to be able to move to the next season. I remember I've shared this openly. Last year was one of those really, so to say, tough years in my life, if I will say so. And just going back a year later, because I was able to journal, I was able to write those things down. I was able to write the healing process down. And she says, I do the same though now. I write about happy moments more. Amazing. Yeah. I was able to write down the process that I was going through, how I managed to get out of those dark moments. When I feel like I'm going into something that doesn't really look good, I always remind myself, Claire, what are you thinking about? What are your thoughts about this thing? What are your behaviors, and what are your actions, and what are the, like, kind of that cycle, to remind myself we have been here before and we have come out of here. So you shouldn't be dwelling here for a long time. And I should actually get that from my friend Abby and just say, maybe I should do more of the happy moments, right? Write them in stone so that I can always remember them. And of course, those not so happy moments, you know as well how you have been able to process and go through them. And when you're thinking about, like, I mean, when I write, for example, about those not so great moments, I don't really do that so that I can dwell on them. I do that so that I can actually like kind of think about my feelings, as I said, my behaviors and my thoughts, because when I think about my feelings, my behaviors and my thoughts, then I can actually be in control of my actions. And if I'm in control of my actions, if it's something that is stressing me out or giving me anxiety, hello, it kind of, in a way, I can think. And they usually say, think about those things that you have around you, right? Are those things that you can be in control of? Your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, your feelings, and your all those kind of things, right? But there are those things that you can't be in control of, like people's actions towards you. Sometimes people can be mean and they can make you sad and can make your soul unhappy, and those moments will happen. But when you know and you are grounded in understanding, this is how I'm able to overcome, this is how I'm able to come out and spring out of that situation, then kind of it gives you opportunities to go back and have those testimonies, right? I derive a lot of my life stories in the Bible as a Christian myself, and I usually think about like somebody like David. If you ever read the story of David, it's an amazing story, right? It got to a point where before he could actually be able to face Goliath, he reminded himself of the places where he had seen God come through for him. He reminded himself when there was this bear that came when he was looking after his father's sheep, and he was able to combat it. He reminded himself of, and then those made him to remember, what about this uncircumcised Philistine, right? There will be those circumstances that will come your way, because I wish I would have said, will not have tough times, or will not walk through rough patches. But when you are able, and in particular when you're journaling, one of the things that I constantly remind myself to do is to keep a gratitude journal. After I've looked at those tough moments, after I walk through the emotions, the feelings, everything, I always go back to looking for the gold in the mud, right? Looking for those opportunities to be grateful, because I may be going through not so good moment, but because God has been good to me, or I've been able to come out of that situation, I can still look at the positives in life, right? I can still think about when, for example, I'm feeling like, oh, I don't have enough money or whatever. I think about, well, but I have a house, I have some food, I have all those things. And those actually turns my complaints into praises. And I can go back into thanking God. I can go back into those moments and I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't complain, because I may have a lot more than most people do. And then I turn my complaints, right, into compliments to God, into praise, into like, yeah, I'm grateful that I can go through life and still come out on the other side. So when you're writing those thoughts, when you're writing those behaviors, when you're writing, and actually that's something that I learned through cognitive behavioral therapy. That's basically the whole thing that keeps on going in that cycle, and it helps you to be able to kind of just center yourself, really. And I've been saying today, I actually came across a notebook in which all I wrote in there was sad moments. Each page started with, today is a sad day, today is difficult, I didn't enjoy reading through what I wrote. Absolutely. There have been those moments. And as I said, let's not dwell on those negative moments, right? And also when I'm journaling, I don't really, even if I've had a tough day, I don't go writing like today is a sad day or something like that. I do more like, I've been feeling a little bit under the weather, or I've been feeling a little bit sad, or something like that. And then I always ensure, even if it's a very difficult moment, even if it's a sure that at the end of the day, I don't stop in the place where I am in the negative, right? I end up changing my thoughts and everything into gratitude, right? And Coach Abby, I'm glad that she's online. gratitude journal is great, right? So you ensure that at the end of the day, don't stay there in the negative, right? If you need to process your negative thoughts with someone, go process it with someone. If you want to process your feelings with someone, go process your feelings with someone. But do not leave it there. Don't go, oh, I'm so sad, or this is a difficult day, and leave it there, right? It's okay not to be okay, but don't wallow in not being okay for a long time, because at the end of the day, you might start thinking, oh, life sucks and there's nothing great about life. But that's a lie. Don't listen to the voice of the enemy, right? Don't listen to the voice of negativity. Even if you find yourself in the darkest moments, they usually say it's always the dark before dawn, right? It will always feel like the darkest moment before you have a breakthrough. It will always feel like nothing is happening before you have a breakthrough. So before you give up, before you decide I've had enough, or before you throw in a towel and say I'm not trying again, right? Remind yourself of your why. Why am I here in the first place? Why am I going through what I'm going through? And sometimes you might be going through what you're going through because God is just teaching you a lesson, a lesson, so to say. And I read something today that was talking about faith being tried. Somebody said that faith that hasn't been tried cannot be tested, right? You cannot go and talk about faith and talk about how your faith has been tested and all these kind of things that tried. If you haven't been tested, it hasn't been tested. How will I be able to trust your faith if that faith has never been tested? There will be those trying moments. And when those trying moments come, you remind yourself of those victory days. You remind yourself of those not so great days, but turn those days around into praising God, into looking at the future. And as Abby usually tells us every single day, start affirming positive things. If your day sucks, so to say, you can start to turn it around and to say, today will be a great day. I'm going to see victory come my way. I'm going to walk in this, start changing those negatives into positives, so that at the end of the day, as I say, do not allow yourself, even when you're going through a tough day, of tough season or tough moment, to stay in that tough moment, because tough times don't last, but tough people do, right? Those tough times will come, but they will not last. And once they've come and gone, you will look back through your journal and say, wow, thank God I made it. Wow, thank God I've come this far. And your trial and difficult time can become another person's survival guide, can become another person's help, that you're like, if Claire was able to do that, me too, I can, right? Well, so I don't make this too long than is necessary. I just wanted to encourage you guys. As I said, last week I wasn't able to do an episode, and so today has been episode 13. As always, guys, I really appreciate you being here with me. And I want to just give out some shout outs and say to my dear friend and sister Abby, who I know she's been live with me. I'm really looking forward to bringing her back. We can explore some of these things a little bit more into details, because she's a life coach and it's just amazing doing life with Abby. She's a gift to this generation. I want to give a shout out to Lee, who's been here. There's a name that I can't really say what the name is like. There's been Davina, there's been Vedant. All of you guys, those even haven't left a comment or anything to make us know that you're watching, but you have been watching. We truly appreciate you. I pray that no matter what life brings your way, and particularly in this season that we are moving towards Christmas, that it feels a little bit more pressure. It feels a little bit like life is challenging. As you journal your gratitude and as you look back, let it fill your heart with joy to be like, I'm glad to be alive in this season, because your best is yet to come. I pray that you know you're loved, celebrated, and appreciated. Have a great evening. God bless you, and much love from me. Have a fantastic evening, and I shall catch up with you very soon.